fuck me, it was actually good. Wonder Woman stars Gal Gadot as Diana, Princess of Themyscira, daughter of Hippolyta. And Wonder Woman, the name doesn't actually show up at any time during the movie. Helping Steve Trevor, played by Chris Pine, to stop the war to end all wars. Which is funny because there's a sequel to that war. Spoilers. It's notable that it's the first DCEU film that has likable characters, an understandable plot, proper pacing, and finally gets to win in Rotten Tomatoes. What? A well-crafted film getting acclaim? Who woulda thunk? Ain't that a bitch? I said earlier it was pretty decent, but there are some glitches. There's a scene early on that had Gal Gadot try to emote. And people in my theater laughed. I also laughed, which made me afraid about Gal Gadot's performance and her line delivery. But overall, it was like 70% hits and 30% misses, something around that ratio. And I think that was good. There were also some zoom-in shots that didn't hit the mark. But congratulations! For the most part, I believe her as this Amazon princess who wants to save the world. She can also fight convincingly, which you need as an action lead. It helps that she was in the Israeli army, I guess. Since this is the origin story, the interpretation for Diana in this film is a powerful, well-educated warrior who starts off as naive. Book smarts and training has to meet real life, and she learns and develops as a character. And we got Chris Pine playing Steve Trevor, and he does it spectacularly. His charisma, line delivery, acting helps this film tremendously. This character is involved in a weird sequence, which I'll mention in the spoiler part. But aside from that, this character is great. And the romance between these two is very believable. And the villains are very generic. There's no depth to them, which is okay. It's an origin story, so it makes sense that you don't have to overcomplicate things. You want to know what the character is all about, and I think this film did a good job of setting that up. The film also has some jokes, which were funny. Gal Gadot even had a joke, and I giggled, and I thought, holy shit, they're making me care about a DCEU character. This hasn't happened before. It's not funny all the time. The whole emotional spectrum was investigated. Happiness, sadness, anger, and whatever's in between. It's all there. It's not like some other films which were angry all the time. The finale is another DCEU explosion fest, but I think it's somehow justified, but saying that would be spoilers, and the DCEU explosion-filled finale was amongst enemy soldiers who are actively trying to kill people wholesale by sending a poison bomb in Britain. So no innocents were involved. A smart move by whoever decided to do that. There's a sequence that was stupid at the start of the film, which involved Steve Trevor. He steals the recipe for the poison bombs, and then he casually walks out of the room where it is, and the lady figures out that was him, the person walking out. How? So what if Steve decides to hang back and wait for some other schmuck to go out? He'd get away? Why not just close the doors, not let anyone out until the area was searched? Or tell people no one should leave the base, all planes are grounded until the book is found. Something like that. The person who panics is obviously the spy. Diana turns out to be the god killer, since only a god can kill a god. It's cool in the movie, but it kind of makes me question her fight scene in BVS. There was a scene where the main villain was just throwing shit at her and she was deflecting it with some aura. And she channeled god powers from her hands. That would have been useful against Doomsday. Well, she was properly motivated then, I guess. The love of her life, Steve Trevor, dies fighting for what he believes in. That's what he was trying to say to her all along. It's what people believe that drive them to do good or evil. And she understands that. That's what helps her defeat the bad guy. And speaking of belief, I could have taught her that had she texted me or some shit. And the main bad guy is Remus Lupin as Ares. They even have him put on the helmet, which is so ridiculous. I had to laugh. He was hamming it up. It was fine.
Gordon's alive?
They didn't even properly foreshadow it. It's just, bam! I'm Aries. But you know what? I think the film earned it. The film was that good. Hopefully, this is a sign that DCEU has finally gotten its shit together and that Justice League will be just as good, if not better. Give this one a chance, guys. I hope you like it, and it's a definite watch for me. Speaking of watch, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.